What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for February 9th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, that beautiful, beautiful retro code, Edward Parnell.
Zach and Ricky coming to Nintendo Switch. Let's do it, Capcom. Ring, ring, ring.
Wait, that's not real, is it?
It's not yet, but I hope it does.
Oh,
Dude, I love Zach and Ricky on Wii. I had so much fun with that game.
We're gonna fight. You got me all excited.
Dude, like Capcom needs to do it. I was thinking about that today. I was watching some gameplay of it, and it's just like, yeah, this game has some problems, but it was so fun and goofy. Like, this is the old Capcom that I love. And then I don't have it with me, but I pulled out my Shake It Up WarioWare or Wario game. Wonderful.
Anyways, I'm doing great, Ed. It's been a long day. I've been real busy. Probably gonna make a couple announcements here on the podcast real soon. So, yeah, it's just been a busy day, man. I've been doing a lot of stuff and keeping up with a lot of this stuff that's happening on non-video game activities, and I mean, people who listen to us probably know that I'm a Cavs fan, and they just traded away like 2/3 of their team today. So that's been interesting to watch, and been trying to figure out Monster Hunter Worlds today. World. I don't know. World one. Singular world. And
I need to start that game so
I
bad.
am enjoying that game a lot. I got my first full set of armor today.
Nice.
It felt really good too. I mean, I'm only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 missions in, but like I've been doing these. I forget what it's called. It's like expedition mode or whatever, where you can just go out into the world and hunt for supplies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically just kind of like for people who are fans of Destiny, they're just pretty much like when you land in a patrol zone and you go search for stuff to do in the world. So I'm liking it so far. I keep using the Bloodborne and Assassin's Creed weapon like fighting thing though, because like it tells you to use, I'm playing on PlayStation, so it tells you to use circle and triangle to fight, and I keep pressing L or R1 and R2, and those do two totally separate things. So like I'm using this giant axe that you can transform into a sword. So R2 transforms it from an axe to a sword, and R1 pulls out and puts away your weapon. So
Oh wow.
when I go to hit something and I hit R1 and I accidentally put away my weapon, it's like, oops. So there are different control schemes, though. I'm going to go look at them and see if there's anything I can do that's different. But I'm having a good time with it. It's weird. It's really weird. I did not think I was going to enjoy it this much, because Monster Hunter's always been super intimidating. So I don't know. It's good, though. I like it. But in terms of Nintendo stuff, I've been playing the same stuff I've been playing forever the last couple weeks. Celeste and Super Meat Boy and Mario plus Rabbids, and I'm on the Switch, kind of like I'm playing through games that that I don't like. I'm trying to finish Celeste. I'm almost done with it. I've died like 400 times. I'm so bad. Probably more than that. That's probably on the low end, to be honest with you. I'm waiting for Bayonetta next week, man.
Yes.
I'm waiting for Bayonetta. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm trying to just clean up finish these games. So, but Monster Hunter is kind of the game I'm kind of really into right now. So, what about you, Ed? What have you been playing?
Got a little bit further in Lost Sphere. Was kind of getting my tail kicked. It's kind of weird with that game, and I wish it kind of just let you be able to grind to get stronger. Like the difficulty balance is just off. But I'm enjoying that. Of course, Aggressive Explosion Machine, Golf Story, like all the Switch games and stuff. went back to Yakuza Zero, getting a little bit further into that, and then I'm going to be starting Monster Hunter World for One and PS4. Like I haven't even got a chance to cut it on today and start doing my creating, uh, my custom creating, because I keep seeing everybody with their cool looking designs, even with their feline, uh, they got like cool designs for it, and I haven't even did nothing yet. I'm like, I don't got nothing. So uh hopefully I can start working on that. I was just looking at my Wii games, and yeah, I mentioned like Zack and Wiki, and
You got me so
uh
excited.
dude, I that game is just so good. It didn't even cross my mind when I looked at it, and I'm just like, now this game needs to be on Switch.
Hmm.
Like it wouldn't work on Wii U, but Switch, yeah, I could see it working.
Yeah.
And fixing some things up. I would kind of like them to revisit that. Um, but yeah, I was just looking at my Wii games, and I was just like, some of these games, if they got spruced up for like virtual console, they could be on Switch
Hmm.
if they ever decide to do it. But other than that, uh, I I haven't got been able to play like I haven't really got to play my one yet, and I kind of want to jump into it, and I want to get back to playing like I said, or start up Monster Hunter 4. I'm gonna hunt my Hunter World. Um, so that's what I've kind of been playing, like the same old Switch games, and getting ready for Dragon Quest Builders. I know that by the time this episode is out, it's out. But I haven't got a chance to buy the game, and I do want to pick up Bayonetta 2. Uh, and so for next week too, I want to do that. Um, I do want to mention that I have been playing Class. Um, and I know we haven't talked about this game on Monday's or Tuesday's episode. So I picked it up Monday, kind of almost after we got done recording, and I played for like literally 4 hours. It's really good. It's a mix of um Metroid meets Metal Slug meets Cave Story meets um Shantae Half Genie Hero meets um
It's a lot of games in one.
Mischief Makers because of the art design and like the story and just everything that it goes about it. And it's Metroid in a way that it's not all fully connected, but you don't get no energy upgrades.
Oh,
You know
okay.
how like with Metroid you get like extra things. You
Yeah.
don't get none of that.
Wow.
And it's such cave story in the shooting, just on the way that it looks when it's shooting, like in its animations and stuff. And it has a mischief maker style to it, by some of the platforming that's around the place. Like it in because of this it being such a sprite based game, it just feels like a Neo Geo game in a sense. So yeah, it's like all that other stuff, but I am really enjoying this game. And surprisingly, this is a game that if it comes to Switch, I guess that's fine. But I'm not jumping at the throne and be like, this game needs to be on Switch. I think it fits good on PlayStation 4. Where something like Guacamelee, like this needs to be on Switch. Like this needs to be on a Nintendo console. Not so much Iconoclast. Kind of weird. I think if it came to anything, I think it would fit better on the 3DS than it would on Switch, in a sense.
Man, no. Everything needs to be on Switch Head.
I
Everything needs to be on Switch Head. Everything.
everything
Everything. I'm just
where
kidding.
Night Trap doesn't need to be on
No.
Switch.
Oh,
I can stay.
okay, that's true. Night Trap does not need to be on. Sewer Shark doesn't need to be on Switch either.
Ooh, what about the Tony Cross, the Chris Cross make my video
Nope.
games?
Nope. Nope. No, and then like I said earlier, I was playing Monster Hunter, and that does not need to be on Switch either.
Yeah.
It's that game is too beautiful and too big and too sprawling to be like. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, it's like it gives me a real Zelda vibe though, in terms
Oh,
of
that's cool.
like I didn't really get into this part of Zelda, but there is a monster hunting aspect to Zelda where
Hmm.
like you collect the parts of the monsters, like you collect their parts to upgrade your armor, and then you can get new armor that you can upgrade through, and each armor piece of armor has like an upgrade path. And then you harvest food to go to the canteen, and you can either make custom meals or buy pre-made meals already,
Hmm.
and like turn in either a voucher or pay for it with the in-game currency. And you eat to get stronger, you eat to get more stamina, you eat to get
Yeah.
more health. Like, it has a real Zelda vibe to it, where I mean, and in Zelda, like, you can go anywhere. In Monster Hunter, you have to use your hub to do all this stuff, but
Yes.
it gives me a real Breath of the Wild feel, actually. And like, I know a lot of people are kind of comparing it to Destiny and being like, you go out on a mission with your friends and come back and upgrade your stuff and turn your stuff in and whatever. But to me, it gives me a real Breath of the Wild vibe that way, where like, okay, I'm kind of out in this open world, kind of doing my own thing, taking down these monsters, whatever. And then, yeah, collecting bones and teeth and hide and stuff. And I've decided to go the bone and leather route because even though it seems like the chain link stuff, like the metal stuff, or the non leather route,
Hmm.
uh, it gives you an overall better defensive buff. But there's a lot of things you can do with bone and leather that give you specific defensive buffs. Like, you can be resistant to fire, you can be resistant to water and electric stuff. So I'm gonna go that route and see how it works. And the thing is too, if you don't like the way you're customizing your character, you can respec on the fly. You can take, if you say you have a weapon leveled all the way up and you decide you don't like it,
Hmm.
you can unspec that whole weapon and respec a different weapon.
With the same points and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
As long as you have the materials, because different weapons require different materials.
The
But
materials.
like, as long as you have that, uh, as long as you can spec it out, like, you can do it. So
Oh, that's nice. You know, I don't, not gonna say I don't care for Monster Hunter World being on Switch. I think I think Capcom and Nintendo needs a different art style to do a Monster Hunter game for Switch.
yeah,
To make it stand out,
yeah,
because there with Monster Hunter World, I think that's a big gamble. Where I think with the Switch version or with a Switch Monster Hunter, they can explore more with a different art style,
yeah,
and they'll get more people to play. Because I'm like, they're gonna Monster Hunter World is stuck on a system that's not really portable,
hmm,
where a Monster Hunter game on Switch is, and people could meet up to do that.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I've gotten some people to help me through some missions, which is cool. You can kind of just like, it's kind of like the Division in that way, where you can
Hmm.
like match make into a mission without actually knowing the people. And you have to start the mission yourself, but you can shoot up a SOS flare, and people just kind of jump into your game and help you take down some monsters and stuff. And the monster fights are really long. Like, this first
Yeah.
monster I took down probably took 20 minutes to take down, and you have to like chase it, and uh, you know,
Is that
you're
the lizard looking one where
yeah,
he like runs and eat the fish and gets fat or
hmm,
something?
yeah, yeah, and like, as as the as you take down its health, like, the more dangerous its moves become, and the more like violent it becomes.
Yeah.
So like, and after like that lizard thing, after it eats something, like, it rolls around and can crush you and take down half of your health in one roll. So
Wow.
you have to like dodge out of the way, and it's got this very bloodborne feel in terms of like, okay, this is what this monster is gonna do. I have to dodge at the right time to avoid and get those frames in. It's very, yeah, it's and since I'm playing on pro, I'm favoring frame rate, and I was like, this frame rate looks like it's about locked at 30. And then I did the unlocked frame rate and went favored graphics. Ooh, ooh, it drops to like, it probably drops to like 20 frames a second, maybe.
E
Yeah, I was like,
and
nope, going back to frame rate.
and I know because I'm playing on a regular PlayStation, in a regular Xbox that the frame rate is going just to be disasters. But I'm fine with that. I just really want to experience the game.
Yeah.
I I don't think they was thinking about frame rate when they made Monster Hunter World.
No. So I'm really enjoying it though. I really like it. I posted something on Facebook and Twitter today. I said I think I'm trading in my Ghost for a Palico because like I haven't played Destiny in probably 3 months.
Shoot, same here.
You know, I don't
Well,
really care to go back to it, especially with a game with all these games coming out and a game as good as Monster Hunter. So I don't know, man.
yeah,
It's fun though. It's if you have a PS4 and Xbox One and you like Zelda, like Monster Hunter is kind of like a multiplayer version of that with a lot of monstrous fights. Let me tell you, it's. I saw a T-Rex eat a bird out of the sky today. That was cool. That was really cool. So, uh,
I I had to say I kind of love the running away animation. Just doing that,
yeah,
it just seems funny to
dude,
me.
it's very like almost PS2 Japanese developed. Like it's
Yeah,
so like over the top the running animation. It's like
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I do like I don't know if it's a dodge move or it's like a kind of a up attack, like you somehow attacking them across from the back on the top of them or something. I don't know if it's like a dodge attack or something. Um, but like someone did some kind of animation where he was attacking like the middle of one of the dinosaurs or one of the monsters, and when he came down, the monster was dead.
yeah,
I was just like, wait, what the heck just happened? Like he took him down like in about maybe 10 seconds.
yeah. There's some moves that I don't really know what they are, and I was just kind of like smashing buttons during that lizard fight, and there's two other people helping me. And all of a sudden, my character just goes into this weird animation where I jump on top of the monster, do this weird flip, and bring
Uh,
my sword axe thing down, and catches the monster on fire. And like he starts running away. I'm like, oh, I don't know how I did that, but that was pretty cool. So, uh, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really played much of my Switch lately, to be honest with you, which is weird because I love that thing. But I don't know. I've been trying.
it's
See, here's the thing about Monster Hunter 2 is it has probably one of the best character creators I've ever seen.
and see, want to get on PlayStation PSN with you and talk in because I was watching last episode also we were talking about custom creating and I kind of want to just like uh, how do I make this character and I kind of wish that you could just see it and stuff. It's just but just having a talk about how to customize and everything.
Yeah, and the cool thing is too is like you can go in to the character creator anytime you want during the game and change your character. Like it has to stay the gender that you picked it, but
Hmm.
everything else you can change. And
Oh, nice.
it's really cool. So I'm like, oh, if I get tired of this, I don't have to start a whole new character. I can just switch it around. So
Yeah, I hope I can make my feline look like a tiger or a cheetah or something.
I made mine look like the Mish,
Oh,
except you can't make it fat. So it's like if Mish lost a bunch of weight.
it's still
Mishka is my wife's cat. For those who
just
don't know. uh,
your cat act that your character cat in the game actually helps you hunt.
yeah,
Mish just stays around
yeah.
until you feed her meat.
She hasn't moved from the couch since I've been home.
Dang.
Yeah, like I got home this morning at like I don't know, probably 11 from doing what I was doing, and yeah, she was right where I left her, and like as of what when we start recording, maybe 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
she's still laying on the couch. I'm like, hmm, lazy. But to be fair, I've been sitting in my game chair playing games today, so lazy.
It's your day off. You own it.
I know. Gosh, I'm so happy I'm off today, and the next like this weekend's gonna be rough though. The weekend before Valentine's Day is always
Hmm.
rough. So, but actually, I think next week is when we're promoting Valentine's Day. I don't know. All I know is we got like 50 boxes of fish in on Wednesday, and I was like, oh boy, do we really need this much fish?
Ew.
Ugh, so, but anyways, Ed, let's get into some of this news.
Yes.
There's a rumor that Metroid Prime 4 is being co-developed by Bandai Namco. I don't know if you saw this, but
Yeah.
we've talked about it a little bit because these rumors have been floating around for a while, but now people are starting to get, they're starting to get real hard evidence that are pointing to that. Because in their financial report, they have 2 Switch games in development, and one is a unspecified first person action adventure game, which would probably point to Metroid or a new IP. But I don't know if Bandai Namco would make an exclusive first person style game for Switch. That'd probably put it on everything, but unless Nintendo paid for it.
Right.
So, but what do you think about Bandai Namco making a Metroid game?
I don't think it's gonna happen. It shouldn't, because really, with Namco Bandai or Bandai Namco, whatever you guys consider it, they're they never designed a first person shooter that I know of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, when did Bandai Namco make a first person shooter? Like what?
Wasn't there one for Xbox? It was like one that you punch with your fist, like blood something. I have to look it up.
I don't even know, man.
But that was like original Xbox. That was years ago. If that's Namco, then that was the only one that I could think of. I have it, but I'm just too far away to actually see what the title is.
I don't know. That's kind of weird. Like if they said they were coming out to make a Metroid game, just like a third person action Metroid game, I'd be like, okay, I could see that. But
Right.
a first person one, like, I mean, I know Nintendo's probably got their fingers all over this anyway, but and they're co-developing and whatever, and I don't know, man. That just seems like a weird pairing.
Like a Japanese title doing an American style game.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that. I mean, we've seen it in the Resident Evil games for so long, but like that's Capcom, and Capcom has more of a Western influence these days anyway.
Yes.
So, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Either way, it's weird. Even if it is a new IP, it's strange. I don't know, but that's I don't know, man. I just can't get my head off of it now.
I mean, Bandai Namco is such a Japanese market company
Yeah,
where they're good at making arcade style games. You know, like Time Crisis, Soul Calibur, um, like those kind of games. They're like like Ridge Racer, like they have an arcade flair to 'em. Where something like uh what was the one, Journey to the West, starts with an E and I cannot think of it. A game that Ninja Theory
Enslaved.
did, Enslaved, where you could see that, okay, Bandai Namco didn't make Enslaved because nothing about this game screams arcade. Like you could see that this game is definitely a Ninja Theory game.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, but when you're playing Soul Calibur or Tekken and stuff like that, you could see that, okay, this is Namco, Bandai Namco. They definitely did design this.
yeah. I'm looking up this stuff. List of Namco. I'm looking up Namco shooter games just to see uh, if anything stands out. Star Fox Assault, I guess, is one that stands out. There's nothing really.
Breakdown. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Weird. But anyways, this article goes on. This is part of the rumor article. According to a LinkedIn post from Bandai Namco Singapore employee, the company is working with Nintendo on Metroid Prime 4, one of the most anticipated Nintendo games in a long time. Not only that, his LinkedIn page which has since been removed, also says they are developing Ridge Racer 8 and that it's a Switch exclusive. Uh, Honestly, this is a bit far fetched. We doubt that Nintendo would leave the rival of a major franchise uh, to a recently opened subsidiary or another publisher. As for Ridge Racer 8 being developed for Switch exclusive, that's a bit more realistic. Uh, I don't know. We'll see. I really just think that I I think Nintendo wants to be careful with Metroid because the last two, like besides Samus Returns, the last two entries of Metroid haven't been well received by fans or critics. So I'm pretty sure they want to try to get this right. Uh,
It it other M had its problems, but once again, I was just like, well, you gotta. I still argue this point that I'm like, go back and play Ninja Gaiden 2 from Team Ninja, and then go play Other M. Other M has is better focus and better design than Ninja Gaiden 2. And even though Other M didn't really resonate well with a lot of gamers, you got to give it up that Team Ninja and Nintendo got a really good relationship. Look how well Hyrule Warriors turned out.
mm-hmm.
And then everybody's trying to make a dynasty game from Koei Tecmo.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't deny that relationship that Nintendo and Tecmo uh has started off with. It might, yeah, Other M might have not been good, but it led to better things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the LinkedIn profile didn't exactly say Metroid Prime 4.
Hmm.
It says Switch exclusive FPS, which, I mean, if Nintendo is going to take an FPS, it's probably going to be Metroid, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think that Bandai Namco is going to work on this in-house. The other thing too is if they might just be this subsidiary in Singapore might just be working on asset creation
Yeah,
or a system like a behind the scenes system under the hood type stuff. It's not necessarily them making the whole game because
right.
companies do that all the time too. So it
And
could just be
Nintendo
asset creation.
and Nintendo does a lot of research and development on its own. So they take elements from games that might not have worked with this gameplay, and sometimes put it on something else. And so Nintendo's probably been doing that, and then working with whoever to make that game. And I think we'll see at E3. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll see a big info dump on Metroid at E3. Honestly, even if it's not coming out this year, I know they want to at least say, "Hey, look, this is what we got." Even if it's a CG trailer of Samus,
Hmm.
like looking at her suit or whatever. Like I don't know. I think they're gonna show Metroid in some capacity at E3, and uh, we'll probably figure out by then who's making this game. So. Uh,
Just bring Mother Brain back. I'm ready to fight her again.
let's see here. There's not really a lot of news since Tuesday. Really, we went over all the mobile stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Man, there's something. There's something I did want to go over though.
Yeah, the Ridge Racer 8 one. While you're looking up for more, I'm kind of excited for that. That's a big move for Namco Bandai, uh, because of that game being kind of Sony exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Place like it's been on that system probably since the first one came out
Mm-hmm.
with the regular Ridge Racer.
Yeah, probably
And
since PS1, right? PS1.
yeah,
So
yeah, Ridge Racer.
no, please no.
So it really is cool that they want to bring this new one to Switch. Um, and I don't know if the Ridge Racer has been a Japanese arcade game before coming to a console, or if this is going to actually be like it's a sequel and it's exclusively coming to Switch as like a brand new title
Right.
without no arcade connections to it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to this next story. You're gonna be able to buy games on the eShop with Nintendo Gold points. Uh, let's read this article here by our friends at IGN, and by
Yay.
friends I mean the website. The My Nintendo service rewards have been limited to wallpapers, in-app items, and exclusive discounts since Club Nintendo shut down in 2015. But Nintendo announced My Nintendo users soon will be able to spend gold points on Nintendo Switch games in the eShop. Starting in early March, you will be able to spend any gold points you've accumulated in My Nintendo when purchasing Nintendo Switch software from the eShop on your device, or even via the Nintendo website. You can pay for the remaining balance with Nintendo eShop funds or any other payment method available on the eShop. My Nintendo users won't have to rush to spend them either. Nintendo confirmed earning gold points will be valid for a year, so any points earned in February 2017 can be used up until February 2018. The service date is limited to Switch owners in Europe, Japan, and North America. That's cool. That's something I think people have been begging for a while. But, that's cool that they finally are letting you do that. I wonder why they're not allowing people to use the platinum points.
That is interesting.
I feel maybe there would be like a platinum to gold translator or whatever, like this many platinums equals this many gold points or whatever, but
yeah,
that's cool. I wonder how many points I have, because I haven't spent any since I got my Switch. So
me neither. I haven't. Heck, because I haven't bought any digital games on my 2DS, I don't even know. I have to look also on there, see what I have.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the biggest news stories since Tuesday. It's been slow this week, man. There was a while there where we were like, we're gonna need to do a podcast like 3 times a day to keep up with all the news. But I still think that next direct is coming real soon. Let's see here. Switch's library is officially 3 times bigger than the Wii U's was at this point.
Yeah,
that's a lot of games. That's too many games, to be quite honest with you. This is this is from Game Informer. A report reveals the Switch has already sold 3 times the number of games Wii U did at the same time in its life cycle. Oh, wait. This title of this article is different than the article itself.
Oh, that's weird.
The article says Switch library is 3 times bigger than Wii U's was at this point. And then it says a report reveals the Switch already has sold 3 times the number of games the Wii U did at the same point in its life cycle. Kotaku UK reports that at the end of December, or the Switch's 279th day on the market, they downloaded data from more than 18,000 games and 250,000 reviews from Metacritic. According to the data, the Switch by then had 191 games available, whereas on the 279th day, the Wii U and Wii had about 60 and 65 games respectively, according to a chart. The Wii U didn't reach 191 games until 856 days after launch. On the other hand, PlayStation 4 had about 100 games, while the Xbox One fell slightly behind that. The data also shows how well games were reviewing among Switch, Wii U, and Wii in that time frame. Games on Metacritic that score at least 80 or higher and reviewed at least 40 different outlets were looked at. Around 45 Switch games met those credentials in the first 279 days. 45 games with an 80 or higher, that's pretty high. That's a pretty high score. While the Wii U and Wii each had 50 games like that in both consoles' entire lifespan. Wow, that's some statistics. That's some statistics. Stats. Hashtag stats.
Stats. Yeah, but that's kind of cool. It just shows, and it's sad that I wish Wii U would have got that same kind of support that Switch is getting. I think the conversation for that system still would have changed if like these kind of games and announcements were happening for it. You know, I think even if Wii U turned into like a indie machine, uh, before like third party was walking away from the system, I think it still probably would have been around today before Switch. But it's great news that we got all these titles on the system, and most of them been great success stories. So yeah, come on, bring more games.
Yes. Um. Okay, Ed. Remember that game Gal Gun that came to the Vita?
Yes.
Well, they made a sequel, and they're trying to bring it to Switch. But the game was refused classification on Switch in Germany. The German games classification entity USK is pretty strict when it comes to violence and nudity, and they flat out refuse to rate Galgun for the Nintendo Switch. Galgun 2 is a Bishoujo game, also known as a pretty girl game or a gal game, hence the title. Its gameplay features young girls in often suggestive clothing, which the Germans did not appreciate and considered worthy of rating. The German players will still be able to buy the game digitally or even in stores as long as they're 18 plus. So it's not a complete disaster for the developer. But here's a quote from the German ratings board, translated through a translator. We'll always try to get games through classification. Or no, this comes from the. Man, these people need to start double checking their stories. It says this is from the German ratings board, but this is clearly from the publisher. We'll always try to get games through classification regardless of the possibility of being denied, as we feel that everyone should have the right and the access to play the games they want to play. It is our opinion that disliking the content in a piece of entertainment or art and voicing that dislike is totally fine and even encouraged, but denying that work right to exist in a market based on personal opinions and prejudices is something we strongly disagree with. Unfortunately, our appeal against the decision has been unsuccessful, given that Galgun Double Peace did receive classification in Germany. We're doubly disappointed that we cannot bring the highly anticipated title to our fans in Germany. However, we will accept and respect the decision of the USK. There's a difference between entertainment and art and 12-year-old girls and almost being completely naked shooting each other with squirt guns and having bouncy breasts.
Well, usually when it's like that, they could change the age and
Yeah, I know.
create different and to get that.
I know, but I just like watched this trailer and they are pretty clearly like between the ages of like 12 and 15.
Well, I kind of find it weird that this happened, and even with the edits of the new Colossus for Wolfenstein 2, that game will still be able to be released in Germany, no matter how you cover it up. Wolfenstein 2 should not be released in Germany at all.
Yeah. I mean they almost had to make like completely different assets for the German release for Wolfenstein 2.
Exactly, and it looks bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that removing Hitler's mustache in Germany almost looked like
Ooh.
Superman from Justice League.
Yes. I'm like, oh my goodness, this looks horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how YouTube or how people could find, because I bet you someone in Germany probably was able to get a physical copy
Oh,
from
I'm
America
sure.
or something.
Even if they have like a PlayStation 4 and they have an American account or a anywhere outside of Germany, if they have that account, like they can
Hmm.
purchase it digitally.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure someone has that version, but I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
the system's not region locked, so
No. I do think like you have to be sensitive to some things. Like I'm not this like oh, I kind of think like the world is too oversensitive about a lot of things, but
hmm
like when your country 80 years ago was like the most hated country in the entire world, and the whole world war started because of the one this one guy, like pretty much, and like the army he built, and you know the Aryan race and whatever. Like, I get that stuff has to be blocked in Germany. Okay, I get it. I do. Like
Mhm.
it's I can't believe that game got released at all, to be honest with you.
I think because we we here in America um have not really dealt with that, and we know
Well,
that this. I mean,
kind of starting
dealt
to
with
deal
it.
with it now, but not on
I
that
mean,
scale.
but see, and that's what I was going to almost get. When Wolfenstein came out on PC, um, you knew that game was kind of like pretty much a Doom clone, and
Mm-hmm.
so you knew what group you was fighting, and like there's no way for you to find a health pack to heal you back up 100%, and you just got guns and stuff laying around. It was all fictionist
Mm-hmm.
as a video game. Like there was no kind of, I guess, no real world connection. And Wolfenstein 2 stayed on PC. Like the Wolfenstein games just stayed on PC until they did the reboot
Mm-hmm.
for consoles.
Yeah.
And I know they're trying to for Germany they're trying to erase that history or not remember it or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Where here with some people they turned it into something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I don't know if they fully understand the history about that because it's just like how in the heck does Wolfenstein 2 the new Colossus hurt some Nazis feelings here in America? You know nothing about that time. You never
Yeah.
experienced any of that time, but it's hurting your feelings. I'm like, come on now, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, back to this. Like, I don't know. It's like I got this game for Switch recently, and like it's a lot of people who play PlayStation probably know the first game, Knights of Azure, and I
Yeah.
got Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon, which it has some suggestive anime girls. Like, that's the whole game, is like your party of these girls going to like uh like the premise of the story. I forgot to talk about this one, about what I was playing, but the premise of the game is that you play this knight, this girl, and you are charged in protecting this this kind of, I don't really know how to explain it. She's like this wizard girl who needs to be sacrificed to kill the moon bride, which is like or the moon witch, who's like the villain of the game, right? And like the story's like, it kind of sounds dumb on paper, but the story is really interesting, and I'm probably like 3 or 4 hours into it. It's an action RPG, and the story's really interesting, and like the game's fun to play and stuff. It plays kind of like a more sophisticated Dynasty Warriors type game. Like I was telling you when I was playing it, it feels kind of like Fire Emblem Warriors, to be honest with you. There's like light attacks, heavy attacks, and like, but there's not as many enemies on screen. There's only probably about 6 to 10 enemies on screen at a time, because it's supposed to be an action RPG, not a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
And like the story's really interesting, and like the art style's really cool, except for like all the girls are in like these revealing outfits, and like I was like, oh, I didn't. That's like the gameplay I was watching online. Like it looked like a really fun game, and they weren't showing any of this stuff. And like it's just like some of it's kind of weird, but like I don't know. This game takes it a little bit way further than that, where it's
Uh-huh.
like, and like I get it. Like that's why a lot of people like Fire Emblem Heroes on phones, is because like they get to collect all the different characters, and like they promoted an event, swimsuit event, where like all the characters, even the guys, were like in these revealing swimwear, and everybody was like all excited about it. uh and like I've seen that kind of crossover a little bit into the Fire Emblem games proper, but this is like taking it the next step. That like the developers are even have like dev diaries on how they how they developed like boob physics and stuff. I'm like, huh.
but it. You have to sometimes be an anime fan to understand like the boo physics
Oh, I
and
know.
the penny shots and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. It's like if you're not an anime fan, sometimes like some of that stuff's a little bit uncomfortable to watch, especially when like for us it's kind of normal. Like I'm not an anime fan, but like playing games my whole life, I've seen stuff like this all the time. And one of the best games last year, Near Automata, had like a character that had some revealing clothing, and like
Right.
nobody really cared because the game was really good. And so, like, I don't know. I guess it depends. I don't really know what else to say about that subject. It was just this weird thing that like it got denied rating in Germany because the Germans were uncomfortable with it. So just brought it up. Okay, let's get away from the uncomfortable stuff um, before I start like whatever. Anyways, come on. My internet is being really slow. They were on top of our roof today. Oh my gosh, the cat moved. They were on top of our roof today, like fixing everything, and like
Uh-huh.
ever since then, our internet's been like super slow. And
Well, Corey, can I ask you while you're looking for the next story? Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is coming to consoles and it's going to be hitting Nintendo Switch. Do you think this game will be a test run for PC style games? I mean, we
I
have
don't
like
know. I
nine
don't even
part,
really
like we
know
have.
what Pillars of Eternity is really. Like I saw that earlier too.
I'm thinking it's like a MMO style game. I think, or because I still need to pick up Nine Parchment because that has such like a top down MMO style game.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I see a lot of like I see a lot of PC things coming to Switch, and like this kind of I don't know. It kind of looks like a no, I don't want this. It kind of looks like a Diablo style game,
Yeah,
which is like something I thought like could probably fit on Switch very well. Like Diablo, I always thought would fit Switch well, and like Nine Parchments kind of gives you that idea of a Diablo style game playing well. Um, and this kind of gives you that old school Diablo feel. And we already saw like Titan Quest is coming out soon. This kind of
uh-huh.
reminds me more of Titan Quest than Diablo. Uh,
Okay.
I mean it. Well, yeah, it kind of actually looks exactly like Diablo 2, to be honest with you. The way like the characters are fighting with each other, and the menus down at the bottom. I don't know how all that's going to work on a controller. Uh, but to be honest with you, I don't. Some PC games just don't translate well to consoles, and man, they did a good job of Diablo, but it takes a lot of effort to make something like that work on a controller. Where like the Diablo 3 for PC is like a lot different than the console version. You have to
Yeah.
click to where you want to walk instead of actually just walking there yourself with a control stick. On console, all your move sets are mapped to face buttons, whereas you have a bunch of commands and hotkeys on your keyboard that can do a lot more. Uh, there's a lot of customization on PC that wasn't in the console versions for a while. So something like this with a huge hotbar and like a huge uh, communication system, like I don't know how that's going to translate. And even other
Mhm.
games outside of that realm, like
Hold on one
roll.
second. Yes. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody.
Uh, I mean, this is going to be a shorter episode anyway, so we can wrap up after this because Asana already texted me and said, "Hey, can you start dinner?" I'm like, "I guess." Uh,
Yeah, I just got time for dinner.
yeah. Uh, but anyways, back to like Roller Coaster Tycoon. They just announced all of the features for the Switch version,
Hmm.
and it's very along the lines of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, where it's the grid-based stuff returning from Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. There's open mode where you can kind of build the park without having any repercussions. There's a scenario mode. There's you can build roller coasters and upload it to their server that other people can download, stuff like that. Uh, but even then, like we got Roller Coaster Tycoon on consoles. Like everybody forgets that, but the first Roller Coaster Tycoon came to Xbox, the original Xbox, and it was
Hmm.
atrocious. Like it was bad. It was really bad. And so like I'm concerned about the Switch version and bringing stuff like, Titan Quest and Pillars of Eternity and games of that nature. They could work, but the developer has to put the effort in to make it work on console.
Yeah, and I think like the the demo from like Nine Parchment, I think will fit like Titan Quest and Pillars of Eternity too. Like, give us a taste to see what we can expect, and so that we could give them feedback and be like, "I'm looking forward to your game if you guys could fix this or patch it or something like that." Um,
Yeah.
Cause, cause I don't know if we ever had a talk about PC games working on Switch, but if games like this can work on Switch and they do good numbers, I'm down for more of them. Cause I kind of would play Diablo 3 on Switch or Diablo 4 if they ever made it. But I'll see how I'll see more to the future for these kind of role playing games.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I would love the next Diablo to come to Switch. Don't get me wrong. I think the Switch
mhm,
is the perfect platform for something like that. It just it just takes a lot of effort from the developer to make the switch from PC to console. And I just hope that, I don't know who the developer is of Pillars of Eternity, but like if they put the effort into making a good console port,
mhm.
I think this game's going to be good, especially on Switch with the multiplayer aspect and the item management stuff being maybe touchscreen based or whatever. Like I really
Yeah.
think that they could figure out a way that it could work well.
I kind of want to see how Blizzard will react to that, to this game. Because if Blizzard's not putting none of their style games on Switch and all these other developers are, I think if it grows into a bigger community, I think Blizzard might create something new, might try it out or something. Like I would love to see them try to do something, or at least play their game and just offer some good criticism or feedback. Like
Yeah.
help the other developers who really want to put this style game on Switch.
Yeah, it kind of surprises me that Blizzard hasn't tried at least to put something. I mean, Diablo, it's a little too late. Diablo 3's been out forever, but like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
it's
it just
it's
surprised me that they haven't tried at least something. Like
it's
Overwatch would be the most like
well,
obvious one because it's their newest thing. It's really popular. Like it's made to
yeah.
run on low powered machines.
Well,
I
this is the thing. This is the thing with Blizzard is that they talked about loving the Switch. Everybody in their building is playing it and carrying it with them, but they don't have no plans for development. Well, you should try something because if other people finding out that you're not developing nothing, they're going to take your space and they're going to make the money if the game comes out good.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard came out and announced, "Hey, Diablo 4 is going to be on Switch." I that honestly wouldn't surprise me at all. But we'll see. I think the Switch came out at a weird time for Blizzard, and they just said, "It's not worth us porting a 5-year-old game over to Switch right now because we know our next game, if this thing, now that they've seen that the Switch is taken off and is successful, they can be like, okay, well, Diablo 4 can probably run on a lower end machine, so we can probably make the effort to port it to Switch." So,
Yeah.
the last news story, which, this kind of came out last week. We just haven't really talked about it. The Project Octopath Traveler demo has been downloaded over 1 million times, and Square is sharing updates for the title. The demo for Octopath Traveler, an exclusive RPG for Nintendo Switch that blends HD visuals with pixel art, has been downloaded over 1 million times. The main purpose of the demo, which released on September 13th, was to receive player feedback in game and of the game through a survey. Nintendo released a video today in which developer Square Enix gives a sneak peek at how 45,550 responses from the demo have helped shape the final game. Instead of holding the B button to run, characters now automatically run when the control stick is pushed all the way in that direction. The B button now makes Pressing B now makes the player sprint. However, enemy encounter rates increase the faster you run. Faster travel, faster enemy encounters. This was not in the demo, but it has been added to the final game. General visibility has been refined. 10 save slots, one of which is for autosaves, will be available in the final game. Players are now less likely to accidentally overwrite a save. Event scenes can be skipped. Even if you enjoy an event scene, the replay feature allows players to rewatch them. And finally, with gameplay difficulty, Square says that they are refining the balance so battles can provide a good challenge without being overly frustrating. Project Octopath Traveler is slated to release later this year, and you can download the demo still in the eShop. So,
such a good demo.
I can't wait for that game, man. That game is going to be amazing.
Like, it might get an 8.45 or 9 for some people, but I think it is definitely for Switch players one of the most anticipated games of 2018. Yeah. Like, it's kind of on everybody's list. Just like, give us the game.
I think that art style alone blew everybody away, and everybody's like, "What is that game with the cool art style?" And even if they don't like RPGs, I bet some people will pick it up based on the art style alone.
Yeah,
that art style's so good.
Yeah, I can understand the faster encounter rate, which is going to be good because they'll be like, "Yeah, I could grind now. I'm perfectly fine with that."
Yeah,
but it's one of those, you need to be by a town and you need to be closer to an end because you're going to be going in and out because like it don't start you off with magic to heal. And you kind of don't have no money to like buy potions.
Yeah.
So the end is like 3 cents cheap. Because that's what I did with mine. I was grinding too.
Yeah.
Using that end.
Yeah, it's I can't wait for that game, man. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyways, I know this has been kind of a shorter episode. It's been a short week, and it's been a short week in Nintendo news, but it's been at least for me, it's been a long week. So, yes. I've got some announcements coming up later for this show and other places around NGR Radio. I can't really say anything now, but maybe next week. Next week, we're going to do a question block episode. Please get your questions in, unless a major direct drops next week. We are going to be doing a question block episode.
Yes.
So get your questions in. We want to hear them. We want to talk about them. You can email us at nintendopalblock@gmail.com or tweet at us at NGRPalblock or comment on one of our photos on our Instagram page. Like, subscribe, and share. Especially our road to 500. We need to get those 500 subs because we get some cool YouTube perks. And
yes,
you guys have been pretty supportive so far, and we would appreciate it if you would continue your support. Even if you don't watch the videos, we would like you to subscribe. So just hit the little red button. Just click the link in your audio feed. It'll send you right there. So like, subscribe, and share. Rate us on iTunes if you're listening to us there. It really helps with discoverability and any other podcast app that you are watching us on. And I think that's about it. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode, and you can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. By the time you guys hear this, my second Butcher Game Awards episode will be live, so you can check out what I thought is the defining game of 2017 and other fun topics. Yeah. Everybody also check out our mini blogs here on YouTube, our YouTube exclusive content. Who knows with Nintendo, they might throw something and be like,
Corey, you watch. They're going to be like, hey, tomorrow morning, they're going to be like, hey, we're dropping a direct tonight. And we'll be like, oh. So, but it's okay. If that happens, I'll be home at 9 o'clock and we can do reacts to it. It'll be all good. So, you can find me at CoreyandHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on NGR Radio proper, NGRradio.com. Download our whole suite of family of shows. yeah, we're back on top. So take that, Nerds Gone Platinum. Power Block's back on top. Ha! But yeah. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Next week we'll have a Power Block or a question block episode. And until next week, we love you.
Bye.